Welcome. Today we're going to talk about the list endpoint, which is used in several of our objects, and we're going to show you how that exactly works and how to configure it in the backend and how to apply it in the front end. So as a small example, I'm going to create a new application. Just click on New App, Test Lists. Okay. So we're just going to just put a form there, nothing else. And we're going to select, let's say, a drop-down. Here we have a drop-down, and we need to specify to the drop-down, please populate the drop-down list with an existing endpoint, which is called list state. We've created this endpoint in one of our previous videos, and we can of course reuse it. If I simply save and open the portal, it'll show me a drop-down list, and this is basically the content, as you can see. So easy enough. We're going to go back here, and now we're going to see where we can use the list data source or list endpoint in which other objects. One of them is the autocomplete. So we'll do simply the same, autocomplete, items, the state, that's it. Next we're going to try to select another one, drop down multi. Again, do the same, list, state. We have an email address select, which basically works the same way, but that's for email addresses, so I won't be showing that one today. Then we have the radio button. Same way, just have to say use a data source to populate the radio set instead of manual, and use this endpoint. Besides the radio button, we can also apply the same endpoint for a selection list. Again, the same behavior, data source, use the list state. And that's it. So let's save this application, open the portal, and see what's going on. So as you can see, the drop-down list is still there. The autocomplete is similar to a drop-down list, but you can of course start typing. It automatically drops down a list with 2 columns and labels, and you can simply select a value. Or you could do the same for a drop-down multi, where you can select several values of that drop-down list. Then the radio button, it will simply show all your entry lists, and the selection list here, which can show and automatically use immediately. Here you have it. These are the different objects which can use a selection list. Now, how does that endpoint look like? This is the contents of this list state. As you can see, we use a framework include, which contains a little bit of logic. First thing it'll do is it'll create a dataset and a dataset temp table, which is called TT list. Here we'll specify the primary ID of the specific table which we want to use, and then the label which we want to use as a additional information. Then we have the list, which is actually our drop-down list, and the labels of our drop-down list will be description and code. Here to demonstrate again, autocomplete. Here you have the description, first column, and you have the code, second column. So next we're going to define a data source and simply apply the dynamic array here. What we're passing to the backend is the sometimes we'll pass the ID. We use this to auto-translate the contents of a autocomplete. And if we don't pass the ID and we start typing for an autocomplete, we'll pass the search text also in a variable. And then here in the pre-row fill, we can apply those filters. And in the post-row fill, we will simply fill the primary ID, the code, and the secondary description in a separate field. The drop-down list, as you saw before, was the description, next the ID. And then in the end, we'll simply say that we also want to add this hashtag between brackets, the ID, for the autocomplete. As you can see here, when I select something, Oregon, it'll translate that to Oregon OR. Now, if I apply that in a form, here we have state, it will automatically translate the value which is here, MA or GA, to auto-translate that in a drop-down or a autocomplete, doesn't matter. If I do F12, desktop, I'll just hit that. I see that the list state is called with a payload where we okay, let's take this example. So basically here we're saying that please send to this list the IDGA, and then here it will auto translate that with a response, and it will reply only with one value back, so we can translate this value here on screen. If I click on this to have the drop-down list, it'll request the same list but without any ID, and then the response will be all the values. If I would use here a autocomplete field, then I could type the first couple of characters and then it would pass that in the payload as a search text. So that's our video for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time.